Are you suffering from the nice CEO syndrome? Do this. Hey, what's up? Rafael Cortez back on the Entrepreneur Mindset series. Let's talk about mental health, all right? As CEOs or entrepreneurs or business owners, we often have the tendency to put the burdens of everything that's going on top of our shoulders, all right? If you bootstrap the business and you started by yourself, it can be one of those things that it's almost done at an unconscious level, all right? So time goes by, you're still, fixing everything by yourself, doing everything by yourself, and then you start bringing people in and you still feel that big sense of responsibility. What happens then? Oftentimes, if you tend to be the type of person who's nice, who's a real genuine problem solver, you care a lot about what people feel, right? You care a lot about what's happening with your clients and your employees, as you should. But where's the boundary? Where does it become an unhealthy thing, right? To put our mental health in jeopardy because of how nice or how lenient we are being as business owners. Sometimes you just simply don't want to feel like the bad guy, right? Or bad gal. But the thing is not about being nice or being mean or any of that. It's about mental health, all right? As a business owner, you got to have structure in place for things to happen, for you not to get consumed and overwhelmed and burned out by every single thing that's going on. In my previous business, about 75% of the headaches that I was getting as a business owner came from people. And the rest of them were, maintenance and contracts and stuff like that. But about 75% of the things that really took away my sleep and kept me frustrated, they were coming from people, from employees or vendors or clients. And the crazy thing is that most of it was just a set of nuisances, right? Little fires that popped up here and there. And I would try to put them all out and try to protect people's feelings and give too many opportunities for to clients who maybe didn't even deserve it. Same thing for employees. And at the end of the day, I felt overwhelmed and tired. And inevitably, I felt overwhelmed. Ended up burning out for a while, and it was just not a cool, cool setting. And then it landed on me that sometimes you can get hit with the nice CEO syndrome and not even know about it. What happens? Now you become too lenient. Now you start adopting and borrowing headaches and problems and stuff that normally shouldn't be there because you don't want to. You don't want to make tough decisions. You feel like sometimes you may be doing wrong by somebody. Your moral responsibilities and your ethical compass doesn't allow you to make somebody else feel bad even though they're not doing what's right and that sort of thing. So it can really become like an emotional battle between your mindset and what the business is doing, right? So what do you do? Enter SOPs, standard operating procedures. Back at the fire department, we ran everything through SOPs. SOPs as in standard operating procedures. And what that is, it's a set of protocols, all right? So now you have rules and guidelines of how you operate, how you do things. So anytime you get hit with something that's out of the ordinary, say that you have a new situation that you have to deal with and you're building up your business. For example, not too long ago, we set up a protocol on how to deal with tenants and vacancies, right? Before, we used to have this moral dilemma of how to notify tenants that we had to come in and then, evict them out of their properties. And it always felt like this like, man, it's almost like there's an emotional attachment to something like that, right? Especially if you're a nice person. If you're a nice person, you're gonna struggle a lot more with this than if you're a hard ass. But either way, it's gotta get done, right? So, when you have an SOP, a standard operating procedure about something, whatever that thing is, now you have a process for it. Now you can either delegate it or you can go back to that process without having that mental battle and then sacrificing your mental health and emotional well-being because it'll put you down. Think about this for a second, right? If you're in a situation where you have to kick somebody out of their house and you haven't done that in the past, and it's new to you, you're gonna be having an emotional reaction to it, right? So, but if you have an SOP in place, now you know what process to take. Now, the cool thing about SOPs is that to a degree, you can leave emotion out of it and becomes not a personal or moral dilemma, but a transaction, decision-making process. It's more of a transactional thing, and that's really what we have to do to a degree whenever we have a business. Now, we have something like that in place. Now you can delegate it. You can have somebody else do it. If you hire somebody to come in and then handle, for example, in our case, dispositions and evictions, now they have a process in place, an SOP, standard operating procedure, for them to do all these things. And it's not gonna be a moral or emotional dilemma. They still gotta go through the process of it, but they don't have to battle within themselves to feel like whether or not this is the right thing to do. It's written, it's part of the policy book, it's a process, it's a protocol that we normally take, and now you have a standing SOP for that sort of thing. So building SOPs and ways of doing things as you're building your business is gonna be a big, 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 big tool, right? Anytime you get hit with something new, anytime that you ask yourself, like, holy shit, how do I handle this? Break it down and write an SOP on how to handle it the next time that it comes around, right? Now you have it in your playbook. It's inside your policy book. Now you have a process for it. You don't have to worry about it. Now you know how that one thing is handled. And trust me on this, challenges will keep popping up as you build your business, as you grow your business, as you expand, and you bring more people into it, you tap into new areas, and just overall evolve, right, as an organization. So it happens. Make sure that you have SOPs in place for anything that's new, especially for anything that's gonna sacrifice your mental health, right? If it's an emotional burden, just write it down. You're gonna have a way to work with it, and now the next time that it comes around, it's not gonna be an emotional dilemma. It's just gonna be another way of handling stuff that, can be a little bit delicate. So build out SOPs as you build the process. Always take the time, take the extra 3 to 5 minutes to write it out, train your team on it, make a memo, do whatever you need to do so everybody knows what's happening, and then have that structure in place, all right? So standard operating procedures, that is how you deal with the nice CEO syndrome, and do this for just about every single area of the business, all right? So think about it this way, simple 3-step structure. Step 1, what is the issue? All right, when you're putting together an SOP, a standard operating procedure, you're gonna clarify the issue. That's number 1. 2, you're gonna clarify the process that you're gonna take to solve that issue. And then 3, you're gonna clarify the ideal outcome, all right? 1, 2, 3, that's it. Issue, process, and outcome. That's the outcome that you want. All right, that's how you clarify an SOP. You set it in writing, you put it in place, and then you train your team on it. Now, all the personal and moral dilemmas that may come along with making a decision that may be tough are gonna be a lot easier to handle. So deal with your nice CEO syndrome by having a strong SOP game. Remember, standard operating procedures. If you like the video, if you like the content that we're putting out there for you, make sure that you like, that you subscribe. If you're watching my videos and you haven't subscribed, that's just mean. All right, I should create an SOP to recognize that stuff. That way it doesn't happen again. All right, so subscribe, click on that button, like it, share it, stay focused, you got this.